Each of Leonardo da Vinci's quotes offers a wealth of insight into various aspects of life, creativity, and knowledge. Let's explore them one by one. Simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. This quote celebrates the power and elegance of simplicity. In a world where complexity is often equated with intelligence or value, Da Vinci argues that true sophistication lies in making things as simple as possible but not simpler. In design, science, or even communication, the most effective solutions are often the simplest ones. Art is never finished, only abandoned. The idea here is that a work of art is never truly complete. Artists could theoretically continue to refine and alter their creations indefinitely. Eventually, they have to abandon the work and declare it done, but that doesn't mean it has reached some ultimate state of perfection. The greatest deception men suffer is from their own opinions. This quote speaks to the human tendency to become trapped by our own biases or preconceptions. Our opinions, if unchecked, can lead us to false conclusions and actions that are not aligned with reality or ethical principles. Learning never exhausts the mind. Da Vinci, a lifelong learner, suggests that the pursuit of knowledge is invigorating rather than draining. The more you learn, the more you expand your capacity to learn and understand even more. Where the spirit does not work with the hand, there is no art. Art is not just a mechanical skill. It requires a connection between the soul or spirit and the physical act of creation. True artistry involves a deep emotional or intellectual investment in the work. The painter has the universe in his mind and hands. This is a tribute to the power of creativity. Artists, through their imagination and skill, have the ability to create worlds, encapsulate emotions, and even influence cultural or personal perspectives. The noblest pleasure is the joy of understanding. Da Vinci places the acquisition and application of knowledge as one of the highest forms of joy. Understanding not only provides practical advantages but is also a source of deep satisfaction and fulfillment. I have been impressed with the urgency of doing. Knowing is not enough, we must apply. Being willing is not enough, we must do. Knowledge and good intentions are insufficient without action. To make a difference, to change oneself, or to influence the world, one must apply what one knows. He who is fixed to a star does not change his mind. When one is guided by high ideals or aspirations, symbolized by a star, they remain steadfast in their purpose. Such focus and commitment can lead to extraordinary achievements. As a well-spent day brings happy sleep, so a life well spent brings happy death. A fulfilling life, filled with purpose and good deeds, leads to a sense of peace at its conclusion. This quote speaks to the importance of living life in a meaningful way. Water is the driving force of all nature. Da Vinci, deeply interested in the natural world, highlights the importance of water as an essential life-giving and sustaining element. Blinding ignorance does mislead us. Oh, wretched mortals, open your eyes. Ignorance is not just a lack of knowledge, it can actively mislead us into false beliefs or actions. This is a call to strive for enlightenment and awareness. Wisdom is the daughter of experience. Knowledge alone does not yield wisdom. Wisdom comes from lived experience, from making mistakes and learning from them, and from the ongoing process of adapting and growing. The function of muscle is to pull and not to push, except in the case of the genitals and the tongue. On the surface, this is an anatomical observation, but it also serves as a metaphor for human action and interaction. Pulling can be seen as an act of attraction or influence, while pushing might represent force or coercion. In relationships and communication, mutual attraction, pull, often works better than force, push. He who wishes to be rich in a day will be hanged in a year. This warning against the pursuit of quick riches suggests that shortcuts often lead to dire consequences. Sustainable success generally requires time, effort, and ethical behavior. Each of these quotes holds a lesson that remains incredibly relevant today, offering wisdom that can be applied to various aspects of modern life. Leonardo da Vinci was born on April 15, 1452, in Vinci, a small town in Italy near Florence. He was an illegitimate son of a notary, Piero da Vinci, and a peasant woman named Caterina. Despite the social stigmas associated with illegitimacy at the time, Leonardo received a basic education in reading, writing, and arithmetic but was largely self-taught in other subjects. Early years and apprenticeship. At a young age, Leonardo showed a keen interest in drawing and was apprenticed to Andrea del Verrocchio, a leading artist and intellectual in Florence, when he was about 14 years old. Here, he was exposed to both theoretical training and a wide range of technical skills, including drafting, chemistry, metalworking, plaster casting, and more. It is said that Leonardo's talent was so impressive that Verrocchio decided to give up painting when he saw how skillfully Leonardo painted an angel in one of his artworks, the Baptism of Christ. Flourishing in Florence. After completing his apprenticeship, Leonardo established himself as a master artist and became a member of the Guild of St. Luke. However, his interests were not confined to art. He also immersed himself in studies of anatomy, engineering, hydraulics, flight, and various natural sciences. He took on several apprentices and assistants, and his workshop produced both art and a variety of mechanical devices. Milan Years. In the late 1480s, Leonardo moved to Milan, where he worked for Ludovico Sforza, the Duke of Milan, for nearly 2 decades. During this period, he created one of his most famous works, The Last Supper, and made significant contributions to studies in anatomy, hydraulics, and mechanics. However, his project to create a large equestrian statue for the Duke was never completed due to the invasion of Milan by French forces. Later years. After the fall of Milan, Leonardo moved between various Italian cities, including Venice and Rome, working on different commissions and continuing his studies. His most productive period was probably between 1503 and 1506 when he worked on what would become another one of his most iconic works, the Mona Lisa. Leonardo da Vinci eventually moved to France at the invitation of King Francis I, who provided him with the Château of Clos-Lucé near the royal palace at Amboise. Leonardo spent the last years of his life in France, where he died on May 2, 1519. Polymathic contributions. Throughout his life, Leonardo filled notebooks with sketches, scientific diagrams, his musings on everything from flight to river erosion, and even his grocery lists. His insatiable curiosity led him to study anatomy in great detail, even performing dissections of human bodies, a practice that was highly unusual at the time. While many of his scientific insights were not recognized in his lifetime, and many of his inventions were never built, his ideas in engineering, anatomy, hydraulics, and aerodynamics were far ahead of their time, and he is often cited as an example of the universal genius, or Renaissance man. Legacy. Leonardo's artistic output was relatively small, partly because he was frequently sidetracked by his diverse interests and partly because he was a perfectionist. However, what he did produce changed art forever. Works like The Last Supper, Mona Lisa, and The Vitruvian Man are among the most recognized and studied pieces of art in the world. Though many of his scientific ideas remained unproven or unused in his lifetime, his contributions in various fields have made him a towering figure in the history of Western thought, celebrated not just for his art but for his all-encompassing curiosity and inventive genius. Leonardo da Vinci died at the age of 67, but his legacy has lived on for centuries, inspiring people across various disciplines to look at the world with fresh eyes and a questioning mind. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to our channel for more wisdom and inspiration.